Hey there, YouTube, Sir Daniel 1975, and I'm here to do a sword unboxing. Something that I do have is I have some swords. I do some living history things, and most of the stuff that I have is geared more towards historical representation. And this one is a medieval Scottish arming sword. It's the one made by Deepeeka. I believe that's how the name's pronounced. And I purchased it from Kult of Athena. Right now it's on sale, I think, for $89.95, something like that. Really, really good price. Carbon steel, I think, is EN45. I ordered the blunt version. I didn't order it edged. It's also a nut. It's not peened. And I forget what the balance point is, but I want to say it's something like 6 inches away from the hilt. But anyway, let's get to this weapon. So, this is the size of the box it came in. So anyway, the point of this is because I have been putting together a medieval Scottish kit slowly for several years now, and I buy like one or two things each year to increase my living history equipment. And this thing was what I got for this year. Also, I bought a sword belt for it because I didn't have a good medieval sword belt. So comes with a lot of packing. Here's the sword belt. The shipping info, which I will show you, covering up my name and stuff to just show you the price. Hopefully you can read that. So the sword was $89.95. The sword belt was $39.95. And the shipping was $17.96, and the tax was $10.35. So comes in at $158.21. So, and here we go. So there's some interesting things about this. Yes, the sword is made in India. Some people have reservations to that, but this particular company does a pretty good job at making their historical pieces look fairly historically accurate. So I'm going to talk about some of that. If there was, like, the main criticism that I have for this sword, and I already have known about what it was going to be like, because where I work at the Scottish Tartans Museum, we bought one for a display. But it made me go out and buy one, is that the handle, it says that it's 4 inches, but it's actually a little longer than 4 inches. It's about 4.5. And technically, because my hand measures exactly 4 inches, so technically the pommel should be right here on the bottom of the hand. That should be the length of the handle. But for $89.95, I'm not going to complain about that, because that's really, really a good deal. So, now, one of the things that's really nice is it comes with a wood core scabbard covered with leather, and all for $89.95. And as most of you know, getting a wood core scabbard is usually kind of pricey. Is it a tight fit all the way around? No. You can actually hear the blade on the inside. $89.95, not going to complain. Yeah, I mean, it's a great deal. And the other reason is because since I do, the living history that I do is Scottish themed, to have a sword with my medieval kit that is relatively accurate to medieval era, most notably it would be like a 14th century style sword. That's pretty good. And it is a bit tight on pulling it from the scabbard. The one we have at the museum is the same way. So there's some kind of consistency that they are doing. Anyway, I'll be honest with you, this one might actually be a little lighter than the one we have at the museum. So it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 3.5 pounds, which there are weapons that heavy. Finer weapons are not that heavy. But this is definitely a chopper, or if it was, well, in battle, I guess you would do a lot of chopping. So I'm going to have to clean some more of that off, that grease that they put on it. But anyway, that's the blade. It is blade heavy, and it is supposed to be a one-handed arming sword. But, however, it does feel like the weight of it, like you'd want to put 2 hands on it to operate it, which does make it nice in the hands with 2 hands, although that wasn't something that was really done in that era in which this sword was used. But it is a decent looking piece for the era, so I'm going to pass this along. Here's the other side. It's actually pretty consistent. Now, one of the other complaints that some sword aficionados would have is that where the blade and the guard are on the sword, there is a gap, and it's not equal on either side. But again, for $89.95, it's hard to complain over that. If this was a $500 to $1,000 sword, I might find a reason to complain. So that's it. And like I said, it's a piece that's going to be meant to be used mostly as a prop when I do a little bit of living history, or when I do historical presentations, that I could have the a more accurate looking weapon for the for at least 14th century part of the medieval era. I could say, hey, this is what a Scottish arming sword kind of looked like. If you look at the knights' effigies at the time, you can see them. The one difference is the pommel. However, I think there are some in the museums that have a round pommel and not the Scandinavian Thor's hammer on the end. So it's got a leather, wood. I guess that's a wood core handle with leather around it, and they did it for $89.95. They did a decent job stitching that. Certainly, there are weapons for sale for $500 that it's the same quality of work on that. So that's pretty good. I'll probably never use this, and I don't do a lot of sword fighting these days because I'm not in shape for that, and not only that, I have a really bad carpal tunnel in my both my hands. But it was something I was looking forward to getting. I've been out for one for a while, and every time I was about to order one, it'd go out of stock somewhere, or you wouldn't see anybody selling them anymore. But I noticed last month that Kult of Athena had them in stock, and so we nabbed one for the museum, and then a week or so later I turned around and bought myself one. So there you have it, the Scottish arming sword from Deepeka, purchased from Kult of Athena. It is, for the money, a really good buy for $89.95. Certainly, if you needed to put something on the wall that was carbon steel, it's EN45 carbon steel, I believe, and that you could say, hey, it's EN45, or it's carbon steel at least. The other thing is there is an option for ordering this sharpened. I forget what the extra cost is. So you could always do that if you want one sharp. It's a decent buy for what you could use it for. You could certainly march in a parade with it if you're in some kind of a Scottish group and you wanted a Scottish-styled sword for a parade. If you needed to wear something for a show, and you didn't want to break the bank, and it would, and then you could brag, say, yeah, it's carbon steel at least, you could do that. So there you have it. I think it's very good for the money. Like I said, if it was a $500 sword, I probably wouldn't want to throw $500 at it. But the fact that it's on sale and you're getting it for under $100, anybody that is out to get a styled sword like this for some kind of a Scottish medieval living history or reenactment, even maybe. I mean, you could grind the blade down even more so that it would be even more blunt if you really wanted to do that. It would take some of the weight off the blade too if you were to do that. But I would say if I was to give because of the price point, I'd say it'd be like a 4 out of 5 star weapon. I mean, which isn't bad. I mean, most of us aren't really going to do anything with it except maybe wear it, or maybe if you got ordered one sharp, you might test some of its cutting abilities, and that would be about it. Unless you wanted one that was suitable for stage combat, or or getting into some sword bouts with someone. So, anyway. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, click like, subscribe, leave a comment, etc., etc. And there'll be more on the way. And as I increase this medieval kit for my Scottish medieval guy that I do, there'll be more things. So thanks for watching.